The latest data available from Seattle Police Department shows the South Precinct has responded to 542 violent crimes this year in South Seattle. From a mass shooting at a South Seattle hookah lounge that killed 3 people and injured 6, to a rash of armed burglaries and assaults caught on surveillance camera targeting more than a dozen homes, a recent spree of violent crimes are increasing in South Seattle.
The crime tape went up and police combed for evidence where a man was found dead from a possible stabbing in North Seattle.
I mean, there's violence everywhere, but as far as Seattle, yeah, it's been crazy.
Police Chief Adrian Diaz showed up to report this homicide marks the city's 72nd, surpassing the previous record set in 1994.
Seattle just hit a record with homicides, 3-decade high, but rather than fix the pressing issue, Washington State wants to tackle something else. They're outlawing gas-powered leaf blowers. They'll give you jail time for using one. Representative Travis Couture joins us right now, a Republican who I'm thinking is against this. They weren't kidding, right? This is real.
This is definitely real.
Okay. And here's my question. Is this a law they're going to enforce in Washington State? Because at least in Seattle, there's a lot of laws they have that they don't enforce. So maybe what's the difference?
Well, I mean, they would seek to enforce it. They want to have a $10,000 fine and a year in jail. So they won't put any other career criminals doing fentanyl on our streets or shooting up anybody in prisons or jail in Seattle or in Washington State, or even let cops chase anybody. But if you fire up your gas-powered lawnmower, or leaf blower, or chainsaw, they'll throw you in jail for a year and slap you with a $10,000 fine.
All right, so leaf blowers, lawnmowers, chainsaws, log splitters, pressure washers, stump grinders, wood chippers, and snow blowers, if they are gas-powered. I'm thinking, like, maybe I understand if you have like a little lawn inside Seattle, in downtown Seattle, it takes you 10 minutes to rake or use a leaf blower. But how is it with a chainsaw? How are we going to cut down all the trees and the timber companies and the fire departments that have to get through roads where there's big Washington State trees that have fallen on? I don't get it.
Well, I'm glad you asked that. My district, the 35th district, is one of the biggest timber districts in all of Washington State, which means it's also the largest sequester of carbon in Washington State. And chainsaws under 25 horsepower that this bill would basically ban in the next 2 years. We rely on those things to cut down those trees to sequester that carbon, and then also have sustainable natural wood products. So it's an attack on the timber industry, and it's also an attack on people's freedom of choice.
Well, and probably an attack on a lot of people's livelihoods, too, who work in the timber industry and everything else.
I think that all government is a waste of taxpayer money.